How's it going, guys? It's Noir Tapes back with another video. Today I want to break down some of my favorite lo-fi plugins. I've picked 3 in mind: Degrader, RC20 and Tape Mellowfi. I was going to give you some examples on some samples I have here, and yeah, should be sweet. These are 3 of my favorites. I use them all relatively frequently. I didn't use Degrader as much as the other 2. Sometimes it gets mixed results and you can't really go as in depth with it, but it's an alright plugin and it looks kind of cool. Anyways, let's go through them. So on Ableton here, I've got 3 different samples. I'll just play the first one here, you can have a listen to it. Kind of a soul sample, you know, it's kind of nice. I would maybe use it, but it's what it is. So first I'm going to put on Degrader. This is what Degrader looks like here. It's a simple looking plugin, doesn't have a lot of customizability, but it's got enough to get the job done, that's for sure. I love using the presets on it. So if I go to default, I sometimes like to use Fattener. It gets a bit of an interesting sound. I'll put it on and play it for you now. Really makes the whole sample sound fat. That's what it does. And then under emulation, I like to use some of these emulators right here. The 80 sample is pretty good. Adds that slight crunchiness on the top end. It sounds quite nice. And then this is the 90 sampler here. You can hear there's a little bit of crunchiness happening on the top end as well. Particularly on the snare, you can hear that crunchy sound is added to the snare. I can't remember if I've done a plugin review for this or not. If I have, I'll link it. But essentially you have pre-filter, post-filter. You've got your jitter, which is like your wow and flutter. You can change the sample rate, the bit depth. You can add some saturation, input, output, and a mix, and you can turn it on and off. It's just a pretty standard lo-fi plugin. You can get as creative as you want with it. It's missing a lot of stuff that these other lo-fi plugins have, but that's okay. It's simple to use, something you can whack on real quick. As I said though, it gets mixed results. So now I'm going to move to the second sample and I'll be using RC20 on it. This is what the sample sounds like by itself. I think right after this video wraps, I'm probably going to flip this sample into some fast, hard-hitting boom bap. But that's besides the point. So if you've ever produced music, particularly hip-hop, you've probably run into RC20. It's a very popular plugin. Yeah, so I've done a plugin review on this one before. I'll link that in the top. This is one of my first ones, so I didn't title it properly. I couldn't even get it to come up when I searched RC20 Noir tapes, so I'm going to have to fix that. But basically, this plugin is very popular, used by a lot of people. I love using the presets real quick, just chucking them on and then editing them in like a subtractive way. I'm just going to show you some quick examples of some of the presets. So this is a classic right here, Vinyl 1. People use this a lot. So this is what it sounds like with that. You can see the distortion is bringing out the high end a bit. The noise is adding that vinyl sound to it. There's a slight wobble as well. And it's also cutting the highs and the lows to create a vinyl sound. It's really good. It makes this particular sound much fuller because it's missing a lot of the top end in it. I also like using VHS. This is the preset here. You can hear there's definitely a lot of wobble applied. You can hear the top end definitely has a bit of bit crushing going on as well. And the last one I'll show you here is a preset I rarely use. Sometimes I like to just dig through the presets and try new things. You know that if you stuck around the channel. This one's called Flux Digital. It's a really interesting sound. I think if I was using this in a professional sense, I'd probably use it if I was making sounds for like TV shows. It almost makes every sound like a sci-fi sound. If you're looking at like a control panel, this would be the sound that's playing, you know? So have a listen to it now. And we're on to the last plugin, Tape Mellify. I've got this sample here, have a listen to it. Just some piano I pulled from somewhere. Could be from anything, I really don't remember. I've also done a plugin review on Tape Mellify. You can check that out, I'll link it in the corner as well. I don't use this plugin enough. I use a lot of the other lo-fi plugins I have, but I do like this one for a few reasons. The tone down here sounds really good. It's got way on flutter, which is great. I like using the filter as well. And this tape stop is really cool. You can customize it, how long it takes to stop. Very cool effect. I think this plugin sounds great, but sometimes the tone is a bit overpowering and a bit weird. That's the only reason I don't use it a lot. You can also add stereo width down here, which is really good too. Normally when it comes to using Tape Mellify, I don't reach for the presets. I normally just add my stuff, add a little bit of stuff. I'll do a few presets though, just to show you guys some of the presets that are on here, but I'll ultimately add to this sample with it by myself. So first, let's try old tape lo-fi, see what that sounds like. Very significant difference there. You can actually hear the sound right now. That sounds crazy. This other preset I'm going to try is called Grainy High Pass. Makes it sound very thin. I think you use this for like an intro or something, if you just slapped it on, and then as the drop comes in, you just take it off and it all opens up. I think that would be how you use that. Anyways, there is no default preset in this one. It always starts off with Lo-Fi Quiver. I made a default myself. You can see that I put it on default. And now I'm just going to add to the sample and then play for you what I got. And so this is what I came up with just now. Doesn't sound too bad at all. I use the bypass switch on the plugin there. I might just quickly do the tape stop just because I love it so much. So I'll play the sample and then I'll hit the tape stop down here. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Anyways, hope you enjoyed, guys. If you're interested in any of these plugins, go check them out. You can check out the plugin reviews I did for them as well. I'll link the playlist of all the plugin reviews I've done so far in the top here. I love lo-fi plugins. I've pretty much only done lo-fi plugin reviews so far. I think with the exception of Pro Q, which is a very popular EQ, which is actually a pro filter, and I also did Elastipitch. It's not really lo-fi, it's a pitch manipulation plugin, but it's very good. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, guys. Hopefully you got something out of it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.